Great salesperson can help us scale the business. And this is no doubt. If you find the amazing salespeople, they can go find the new deals, they can go hunt new clients, they can go bring much more revenue to the business. But the question is, what does it mean great salesperson? Today I will share with you the characteristic of the great salespeople. Three positive characteristics and three not positive characteristics. Stay to the end because this episode will surprise you. Hello everyone, my name is Adam Skonecz and you are watching Go Global Asia podcast. After many years helping Asian IT businesses scale and sell their services to foreign clients, I have created this podcast to share with you what actually works. This is the podcast for professionals who want to learn about the sales, business expansion, and collaboration with international clients. If you're running a business for a couple years, 3-4 years, I kind of can bet that you have bad experience hiring a bad salespeople and then wasting a lot of money, wasting a lot of time with no result. This is very, very common experience of the founders, and it doesn't matter you're working in IT industry or any other industry. We as a founders, we have this kind of tendency to think, oh, if I found this one great salesperson, they will help me to grow my business. Yeah, and this is a fact. If you have this amazing salespeople, then they can significantly help you to scale. But the question is, what does it mean great salespeople? What are the characteristics? How we can recognize them? In this episode, I will share with you the three very, very positive characteristics that you should look for, and the three bad characteristics that most of the people they think are bad, but there is something significant about those bad characteristics that you might be interested in. So guys, let me get right into it. I want to keep it short and sweet for you. Characteristic number one, and it might surprise you right away, it's empathy. If the salesperson has a lot of empathy, if the salesperson can put themselves in the shoes of the client, if the salesperson know what the client literally think, they will know what to say to them, they will know how to approach them, they will know what point to touch to convince them. And the empathy, in my opinion, it's actually a skill that you can train and get better. So whenever I am looking for the salespeople, I am trying to figure out if they are empathic, if they can know what actually client want from them. Second skill is persistence. Especially in IT industry, the sales can take a little bit time. In our industry, maybe it will take 3 months, 4 months, depends what size of the client we are targeting. But during this time, we need to, as a salespeople, be very persistent. We need to keep going and we shouldn't give up. This is one of the main characteristics that should be visible in every salesperson who want to work in the B2B. Can you imagine that salesperson joining to your organization and after 2 weeks they say, oh, I have no deal. So this is not for me. I'm quitting. So that's why if you know already this, it's very important. If you are CEO, if you are a founder and you're hiring the salespeople, you need to figure out, can they be persistent? Do they have a past experience working in B2B and in long sales cycle? If you hire somebody from the B2C or from B2B but the short sales cycle, you might have a kind of expectation they might not be enough persistent or they might not be used to such a long sales cycle. Last characteristic that I want to mention is rejection proof. So when you're a salesperson, you will face a lot of rejection, no doubt. And some of the rejection is just by ghosting. Some of the rejection is direct telling no. And some of rejection, they're very heavy that when somebody insulting you or using bad words. Great salesperson, they can shift this rejection. And first of all, don't take it personally. Very important. And the second, they can actually use the rejection to motivate them. How? Basically, there is mathematics to it, you can say. If I be rejected 10 times, then I have a higher chance that 11th time will be positive. Or if I've been rejected 20 times already, then I have a higher chance that the next rejection will be positive. And actually, mathematics in sales works. I know a friend, Daniel from Poland, who actually built his multi-billion-dollar insurance business based on this strategy. He was going door to door to get much more to see much more clients, to get more time rejected, so then he can get one yes. Now I would like to talk about three not good, potentially not good characteristic of the salespeople. First of all, audacity or arrogance. So when we are, let's say, introverts, when we are founders, when we are IT engineers, and we see salesperson coming to us and they sharing, they being very self-confident, we feel they are too self-confident, we might think they are arrogant. And very often in the normal daily life, when we talk to those people, it's very difficult to communicate with them. But guys, arrogance, or maybe I like to call it audacity, it's quite useful characteristic for salespeople when they're working with the client. They need to be very self-confident. They need to believe in themselves and in the product because the client can feel it. Client can sense it. If the client sense that the salesperson is not sure, if the client can sense that salesperson they don't really know or they don't really believe to their product, the client will not go ahead. So having this audacity or this very high self-confidence moving into way of arrogance, it's in the normal life maybe not so good characteristic, but for the salespeople, it's pretty good. Competitiveness. Salespeople should be very, very highly competitive. The reason is that they are driven, they need to be motivated. The sales job is so difficult that if you are not driven, you will not achieve the huge result. You need to keep thinking how I can get better, how I can get better over those guys, how I can get better result, how I can beat myself. In the normal life, when we face these highly competitive people, we feel uncomfortable around them because they're trying to win over us all the time. They're trying to win in this area, in that area, and it's pretty annoying. But for the salespeople, it's a very good characteristic, I can tell you, because this will bring much more result to your organization. And how you can check if they're very highly competitive? Simply ask them, do they like any sport? If they name you the sport that is highly competitive sport, that's your guy. That's not good characteristic. I can say they are aggressive. And obviously, I don't mean physically aggressive, but verbally aggressive. So if you take this arrogance or very high self-confidence and put it into connection with this aggressiveness, that will give you sales machine. What do I mean? The aggressiveness of the salespeople coming from belief, very strong inner belief that if the client use their product, then they will benefit for that. And there is amazing explanation of this by Alex Hormozy. Actually, he shared that idea, and I would like to share this idea with you now. So imagine that you can move back to 2012. So you move back in time from today to 2012. You know what happened today. You know, for example, that NVIDIA valuation. You know what happened with the Bitcoin. And now you are back in the time. You standing in front of yourself, both from the past, and your role is to convince that person, convince yourself that he or she or that you should buy Nvidia, that you should buy Bitcoin. And you know that if you know already what will happen in the future, you will do everything you can to convince yourself from the past to buy that Bitcoin, to buy that Nvidia, to buy that Tesla. And this is the aggressiveness where it's coming from this from the salespeople. They have such a strong belief that their product, their service can help the client that they want to do everything what is possible to convince them. You might feel or you might observe this is the aggressiveness, but it actually works. Having this kind of push for the client, it will work. And I saw it so many times. People are afraid of this, but it actually works. Obviously, we cannot be over aggressive, but the good salesperson can actually have this balance between, pushing and going back, pushing and going back. So guys, I guess I managed to surprise you a little bit. I introduced you three very positive characteristics that are great in the sales world and great in the normal life. And I introduced you another three characteristics that might not be great in the normal life, daily life, but they are amazing for the salespeople. Now you need to go to the market, find the people who have those characteristics, bring them on the board and grow your business. If you want us to help you grow your business, feel free to go to our website and book free consultation. We can look into your company and we can see how we can grow it together. Thank you so much and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.